being such an experienced player, and I had difficulties with her playing against before. So I'm happy that I'm taking
Eala's Auckland annihilation was nothing short of spectacular, as the Filipina phenom demolished Marino in a brutal 63-minute rout. Lynette was firmly placed on the chopping block in a match that proved this was about far more than just the scoreline. It was about sweat, fury, and absolute glory on the court. What unfolded at the ASB Classic was a statement performance so overwhelming that if you blinked, you missed it, and if you stepped away for a snack, the first set was already gone. The clash of two rising titans had been billed as a war, a grueling dogfight between two of the brightest young stars in women's tennis. On one side, the pride of the Philippines, the relentless left-hander Alexa, and on the other, the Croatian sensation. Instead, it became a one-sided destruction that echoed from Manila to Zagreb. Junior world number 1 Petra Marcinko was expected to deliver fireworks in what was billed as a generational duel destined to go down to the wire. Instead, the match became a master class of full-blown clinic, with Alex Eala turning the tennis court into her personal playground and leaving her opponent searching for answers that simply did not exist. To understand the magnitude of this performance, context is everything. The ASB Classic in Auckland is not merely a warm-up tournament. It is a proving ground where the tone for the entire season is set, known for its wind, intensity, and notoriously loud crowds. Coming into this round of 16 clash, the narrative was electric, with history already in the making. Eala had just put the Philippines on the global tennis map with an Olympic silver medal, a victory that went beyond the scoreline, a gritty three-set war of attrition that proved she could stand toe-to-toe with the sport's biggest hitters. Having already taken down one Croatian giant, she now faced the next-generation Croatian threat in Petra. Marcinko, ranked number 82, is no pushover, a fearless ball striker who had just blazed past Camilo Osorio and possesses that dangerous blend of youth and power capable of upsetting anyone on the right day. But Thursday in Auckland was not that day. It was a nightmare. From the very first ball toss, the energy felt different. Eala stepped onto the court with a predatory focus, looking less interested in playing a match than in ending it quickly. Within minutes, the scoreboard told a brutal story, 3-0 to Eala in just 10 minutes. The crowd, packed with loud and proud Filipino supporters, erupted as forehand winners drew thunderous roars, and Marcinko's unforced errors were met with supportive yet intimidating applause. The first set deserves a place in a museum of tennis dominance, a 6-0 bagel delivered in under 30 minutes. It wasn't just the score, but the manner in which it happened. Marcinko, usually aggressive and full of flair, looked shell-shocked as every attempt to take control was met by balls coming back faster, deeper, and heavier. Eala's left-handed forehand was a laser, painting the lines with surgical precision, leaving her opponent overwhelmed and out of answers. Tea quickly became a nightmare for the Marcinko camp as Eala dragged her opponent side to side, exposing movement gaps and punishing anything that landed short. Marcinko's unforced error count climbed not because of poor play, but because the pressure was relentless. When you're down love 3, love 4, love 5, your arm tightens and your feet feel stuck in concrete. Eala sensed blood in the water and attacked with ruthless precision. At one point in the first set, Marcinko looked helplessly toward her box, hands on her hips, silently asking what she was supposed to do, and there was no answer. Eala was playing flawless tennis, converting breakpoints with machine-like efficiency and finishing the match a perfect 6 for 6 on break opportunities, the kind of stat that wins championships. When the second set began, a response was expected, and to her credit, Marcinko tried. After a brief locker room reset, she came out swinging, got on the board, and even broke Eala's serve to take a 2-1 lead, briefly igniting hope among Croatian fans. But any thoughts of a comeback vanished instantly. Eala stayed calm, recalibrated, and flipped the switch back to full destruction mode, firing 3 blistering forehand winners to break back immediately. It was a clear message: Marcinko could have a game, but not the match. From there, it was one-way traffic again as Eala went on another relentless tear. Eala reeled off 4 straight games, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, and any remaining resistance from Marcinko simply evaporated. Her heavy topspin forehands pushed the Croatian farther and farther behind the baseline, forcing desperate defensive replies that sat up perfectly to be crushed. The final game felt like a coronation, as Eala served it out with veteran-like composure to seal a 6-0, 6-2 victory in just 63 minutes, barely enough time to watch a single episode of a TV show. In that span, Alex Eala had already punched her ticket to the quarterfinals of a WTA event. On paper, her next opponent Lynette is the favorite. The fifth seed, ranked number 52 in the world, exactly one spot ahead of Eala at number 53. You truly couldn't script it any closer in the rankings, but in terms of current form, confidence, and energy, the edge undeniably tilts toward the Filipina. Hilarious side story has emerged in Auckland involving Magda Lynette. While Eala is locked in on a new year and a new chapter, Lynette appears to be focused on a new night and a new dinner. The Polish star has joked with the media that her biggest challenge in New Zealand isn't forehands or backhands, but finding places to eat. A self-confessed foodie, Lynette plans her restaurant visits weeks in advance, only to find her carefully mapped-out itinerary running dry because she keeps winning and staying in the tournament longer than expected. She's even admitted to searching desperately for new restaurant recommendations. It's a light-hearted, humanizing detail, but once she steps onto the court, that hunger for food is quickly replaced by an even stronger hunger for victory. When Eala meets Lynette, it promises to be a true clash of styles. Lynette is a classic counterpuncher. Solid, disciplined, and unwilling to give away free points, forcing her opponents to hit one extra ball again and again. Her experience allows her to disrupt the rhythm of younger players, while Eala, in contrast, is the aggressor, looking to dictate play with her powerful left-handed forehand. To succeed, Eala must replicate what she did against Marcinko, take time away and stay on the front foot. If she allows Lynette to settle into a rhythm, it could turn into a long day, but if she can push the pole back, keep her moving, and capitalize on the fatigue from Lynette's recent 3-set marathon, a semi-final berth is very much in play. The stakes are enormous for Eala, as a win would cement her status as a breakout star of 2026, proving that her earlier victories were no fluke. Defeating Lynette, a seeded player and seasoned tour veteran, would mark a significant step forward in her professional maturity, especially with the strong Filipino crowd in New Zealand providing a near-home court atmosphere with waving flags and roaring support that lifts her performance even higher. A crowd like this can lift a player when they're down and make them feel invincible when they're up. And Lynette won't just be facing Eala, she'll be facing the crowd as well. Looking deeper into Eala's technical growth, the improvements are impossible to ignore. Last season brought flashes of brilliance, but also inconsistency, with matches where she would take the lead only to let opponents back in. Against Marcinko, that fragility was gone. When Marcinko broke back in the second set, the older version of Eala might have wavered, but the 2026 version responded with controlled aggression, hitting harder and with purpose. Her serve, once a vulnerability, was rock solid as she hit her spots, varied her pace, and used the wide slider to open up the court, while her return game was lethal. Going 6 for 6 on breakpoints is the definition of clutch. It shows that when the door cracked open, Eala kicked it down without hesitation. That killer instinct is what separates good players from great ones. Marcinko, meanwhile, will take lessons from this defeat. At just 20 years old, she has a powerful game, but this match highlighted the gulf between junior tennis and the Pro Tour, where raw power without precision is punished. She will be back and dangerous, but for now, she'll have to absorb a tough lesson as the focus remains firmly on what comes next. The quarterfinals set the stage for a compelling showdown: Eala versus Lynette, the left-hander against the counterpuncher, the rising star against the established seed, Filipina fire meeting Polish resilience. The serve will be pivotal, as Eala needs a high first serve percentage to avoid being constantly put on the defensive by Lynette's aggressive returns. If she can dictate with her serve, set up easy forehands, and finish points quickly, she'll conserve energy and keep the pressure firmly on the Polish veteran. This match is about first-strike tennis, attacking early, attacking often, and never allowing Lynette to settle into a rhythm. Eala must make her uncomfortable, force doubt into her game, and make her wish she were back at a restaurant enjoying a quiet meal instead of being run ragged by a 20-year-old phenom. Experience, however, adds a layer of complexity. Lynette has been here before, familiar with quarterfinals, semifinals, and the pressures that come with them, while Eala is still learning, with each match presenting a new test. But young players have a dangerous advantage. When they're in form, they play without limits, unaware of where the ceiling might be. Young players like Eala don't always feel the pressure. They just go out and play, swing freely, and take chances. That fearlessness can be their deadliest weapon, and Eala proved it against Marcinko. She broke serve 6 times, closed out sets clinically, and showed the confidence and trust in her game that mark a player ready for the biggest stages. So, where does this all lead? If Eala gets past Lynette, She's into the semi-finals of a WTA event, just 2 wins away from a title, knocking on the door of the top 50, and making a name for herself in the sports spotlight. With performances like this, we're not just talking about a breakthrough tournament, we're talking about a breakthrough season. Grand Slam main draws where she's dangerous, year-end rankings in the top 30 or even top 20, and the possibility of representing the Philippines at the Olympics, competing for medals, and inspiring millions. But for now, the focus must remain on the quarterfinal. Lynette is standing in her way, and despite all the dreams of what could be, Eala needs to stay fully present, fully focused, and fully herself on the court. Eala's challenge now is to stay grounded, stay focused, and handle what's right in front of her 1 point at a time, 1 game at a time, 1 match at a time. The encouraging thing is that she seems to understand that her post-match comments weren't about looking ahead. They were about appreciating the moment, enjoying the process, and staying humble. That kind of maturity will serve her well in the battles to come. The tennis world is buzzing. Social media is lighting up with highlights of that devastating forehand. Analysts are rushing to revise their predictions, and fans are booking tickets to the quarterfinals just to see if this Filipina sensation can keep the magic alive. This is exactly what sports is all about. The emergence of a new star, the thrill of watching someone announce their arrival on the biggest stage, and the collective hope that we might be witnessing the birth of something truly special. This is what makes tennis so captivating. So, tennis fans, what's your prediction? Can Eala continue this magical run and overpower the savvy veteran Lynette, or will the Polish star's experience and grit prove too much for the young phenom? Is Eala destined for the top 20 this year? After that commanding performance against Marcinko, it's hard to bet against her. The power, the poise, the passion, it's the total package. We want to hear from you. Drop your predictions in the comments below. Will Eala win in 2 sets, or will Lynette push it to 3? We'll be covering every serve, volley, and smash of this tournament right here on Champions Tennis, giving you a courtside seat to all the drama and the stories that matter. Don't just watch history happen, be part of the conversation. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Eala's stunning victory, hit that like button. It helps the channel more than you know. Share the video with your tennis buddies, join the debate, and if you haven't already, subscribe and ring the notification bell to stay updated. Ladies and gentlemen, the stage is set.